So when you are.
We are now recording.
Good. Good everybody. Let me just send him stuff. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this.
First try.
Right. First try. Yeah. Yeah. First try. No pre-recording this at all. Good everybody. I'm the TheSuffolkRam.
Skazz, yes.
Welcome to episode 155, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Hey.
Skazz's favourite time of the year. I'm wishing you a COVID Christmas, Skazz.
Woo! You too, dude.
Thank you. Thank you. It's our social distancing. Let's not have anybody round. Yay. Woo! COVID Christmas.
Can't wait. Should be great. By the way, great. COVID Christmas isn't going to affect my family at all. It's just not a thing for my family.
The only thing it's affected us is that normally we'd have my grandmother round. My grandfather around. My grandfather obviously lives next door, but what we're going to do is we're going to do a Meals on Wheels. So we're going to take him a plate of food round. My grandmother's like, well, you know, shit happens.
Yeah, Christmas sucks anyway. Piss off, grandson.
Yeah. She's probably thinking, fantastic. I don't have to be around that boring household on Christmas Day. I can go partying now.
That's it. She's got to sit at home with her VR headset on.
Yeah. I think I do wonder about that actually, because I wonder if when she's got like a lever in her room, she pulls like all the chairs, fold up like old chairs. But when she pulls, she's about the other way, and they all go back. She's got like, some hyper realistic VR headsets all set up going on.
You're damn right.
All on me there. Yeah. She sat there like full on PC.
No, you think she's wearing like her granny clothes, but then as she pulls that lever, she runs into the corner and puts on like a Hawaiian shirt and that.
Yeah, puts on the VR headset, grabs the controls, goes, "Get ready to die, noobs!"
Yes, suck it, noob.
Yeah, and off she goes, and that's what she's going to do Christmas Day. She's going to have a wonderful time.
I'm proud of her. Good job.
So, but yeah, good. All Christmas sorted out. You all finished your Christmas shopping?
Yes, ages ago actually.
Do you know what? Like me, as we discussed last time, the Amazon boxes in the background, they're still not wrapped. I did my Christmas shopping, I think, the second week of November.
See, a lot of my Christmas stuff actually went out early because a lot of my presents, oddly enough, and people know this, a lot of gifts I bought people were from the Steam sales.
Oh, right.
But the thing is, like, I spent like £100 on each person in Steam sales, so they got quite a significant chunk of games.
Hell.
Yeah. Let's just say I'm poor for a reason.
Surprised me £100 on pure Steam sales. No wonder. I think the most I ever spend on like other. I mean, I wouldn't spend that much on my family. I think the most spend on other people's like £20.
There you go.
Fucking £100. Bloody hell.
Well, I mean,
I think that's where actually. I think it comes to, there's two types of people at Christmas. There's people who will spend loads on everybody, and there's people who are like, it's just literally just the thought that counts. So I don't expect any big gifts off people, and likewise, I don't tend to give massive gifts. I mean, our family's all been. I think the most we have spent on other people. I mean, me and I'll probably spend about £30, £40.
Yeah,
other people, but friend stuff, I probably spend about 20 to 30 quid.
Yeah, for sure, max.
But I don't expect anything big in return.
Yeah, same.
Because so. I mean,
in the grand scheme of things,
it's very much in the case of the thought. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I go by the groove of I don't really want anything. I have everything I want. I've got my health, kind of. You know, I've got a roof over my head. I get to have a meal at Christmas. What do I give a crap? You know?
Yeah. Well, that's sort of basically where we sit now. The reason why we don't spend on it. So we're like, well, we all like when we want something, we just buy it.
Yeah. Well, that's the
what
thing
are you going to buy us?
What
are you going to buy us? Because we've already got it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I struggle every year. I'm like, so make sure you put some stuff in your Christmas list on Amazon for me. It's like, okay, and I really struggled to fill that list up. I feel I've got on there this. I feel I've got on there this year. The most expensive I've got on there this year is a desktop power supply bench due for my electronic stuff. I think that's about £40.
There you go.
That's the most expensive thing that's on there. It's just so hard. But it's a nightmare. Tell you what, chocolate and alcohol has saved me so much over Christmas.
There you go.
Whoever had chocolate, whoever had alcohol, thank you. You have saved so many Christmases, not just for me, for hundreds of people.
Literally hundreds of people. We could say thousands, tens of thousands, millions
tens
of
of
people.
thousands of people have been saved through chocolate and alcohol at Christmas. Now, what's your opinion on smellies?
I don't really care, to be honest. You either buy them and give them to people, or you get them. I don't care.
Do you not feel ever self-conscious if someone gets you something you haven't asked for it?
No, I don't really care.
I always do. If someone buys me like some Lynx body spray and stuff, I think, do I stink?
Oh, mate, people I know, because I hang out with incredibly blunt people. So if people think I stink, they'll just say it. Like, oh, you fucking stink. Go and have a shower, you cunt. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. Fuck you. So I'm not really bothered.
Yeah, see, I live with very blunt people. I know a couple who I'd work with, but I just like, don't smell that bad, do I? You want me to smell like this? Why do you want me to smell like you brought me Lynx? Why do you want me to smell like a teenager again? Yeah,
that's it. That's
it. So, yeah,
that just saves me going out and buying deodorant or shower gel. So I don't.
Yeah, really I suppose it's that, isn't it? It all saves time. I usually give it to my dad.
There you go. I mean, there was a time, you know, where you just like you'd end up like, I don't know, one member of the family who you don't see like ever is like, oh hey man, I've bought you like a Lynx kit. So okay, fair enough, thank you, Merry Christmas. And then that sits in the cupboard, and then like I don't know, one of my other family members will come around and go, oh shite man, you've got like a cupboard full of shower gel here. Can I have some? I was like, yeah, go for it, just take it.
Yeah, I'm very much of a I'm very much of stuff like that. I'm very much of a I like what I like. I know what I like, so I tend to buy. Like if someone buys me something different, it's like I don't like that, so I'm not going to use it. So I'll give it to my dad, and he can use it because he doesn't care.
See, for me, soap. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not. Believe it or not, Ram, I'm not the kind of guy that really gives a shit about what people think about how I look.
No.
I mean, I'm so well groomed, you know. Clean shaven.
You may, but
tidy hair. Wear my shirt and tie all the time.
You do. Now you're gonna find this hard to believe. I actually, despite the fact that I usually look like a really rough motherfucker, I actually do somewhat care about people.
Oh, do you?
I do.
Yes, yeah.
I do actually sort of like. I am slightly picky when it comes to stuff like that.
Is that why you hang out with me? So people think you're less trampy?
Exactly.
I thought so, mate. That's all right. You're
welcome.
Yeah,
it's like they look at us two and they go, "Well, he clearly looks a bit rough, but look at his mate. For fuck's sake,
he ain't as bad as that guy."
yeah. So
that must be the hobo that you gave a sandwich earlier.
yeah. That's his mate. He just follows. Yeah, the hobo just follows him around.
Poor Nick must have gave that guy a sandwich earlier, and now he can't get rid of him.
Yeah, that's basically how it works. Yeah, it works. It's a working system.
So I'll take that.
I will say that I went to your wedding. You scrub up well, amazingly.
Don't say that. Don't go telling people that.
You look somewhat normal.
Nah, don't. Mate, I've like some of my wedding photos is funny actually because I'm wearing a full-on suit, but I've got work boots on, dirty as fuck work boots on, and you can see it in some of the photographs.
Yeah, that's your. I thought they were your best pair of boots you had.
Pretty much. I mean, I had others, but I was like, you know what, these are comfortable, so fuck you.
Did you not say to the photographer, just make sure you always take me just slightly above the ankle?
Well, no, because we had the dog at the wedding, didn't we? And so there were a couple of shots where he was at the you know, like the altar at the table with us. And so the photographer took shots of us with the dog. And so they were down low. And so you got to see my grubby boots. It was fantastic.
What must the registry officers thought when we all came stomping in?
Yeah, mate, I know. It was like a hit squad had walked in. It was so bizarre.
Yeah.
So bizarre.
I will say is that I said to my mum when I got home, I said, I still think that's one of the best weddings I've ever been to.
You think?
I'll tell you for why.
Go on.
When it comes to people getting married, the married part's the important bit. The wedding part is the bit where people get excessive on. The marriage bit is cheap.
Yeah.
And I don't like when people go so overboard on the wedding. It's got to be like this really massive marquee, you know, with white linen table service with some stupidly folded napkin and some flowers in the middle, and the bride has spent 6 months deciding what slight shade of pink the rose needs to be.
Yeah.
And you go there, you look at it all, you think, it looks nice, but how much money have they wasted doing this?
We know some people we know. I won't say my friends, because my friends would never go this excessive for a wedding, but some folks we know have gone upwards of like 15,000, 20,000 for a wedding. And that's like ridiculous, dude.
And I always want myself, if you spend 15 grand, every £1,000 you spend on a wedding is £1,000 you could have been spending,
could have put on a house.
Exactly. £15,000, that's paid towards deposit on a house. 20, it's one day. And really, what's the important part of the day? It's the two people getting married. That's the important part. The bit after, that's all nonsense. That's just that bit is just a bit of, it's a fun party, but it shouldn't be stupidly excessive. I actually, the way I've been to a few weddings, and the way you did it was, in my opinion, the best way.
Oh, bless you.
It was. We went there. I actually said to Skazz, I said we were sat there, and I said, actually, this is all that matters. It's the two people who love it. You have a tie the knot. That's all that matters. Actually, at the end of the day, we'll go to the pub, have a few pints. We'll buy the groom. We'll buy them a few drinks. Eat a bit of a buffet. Go back.
No one ate that food. Don't lie to me.
I ate quite a bit of that food. Go back, have a few more drinks, do a podcast, and then it's good. Yeah, that's all I really care about. What more could you want on a wedding night? Yeah. So,
as far as simplicity goes, I mean, it was a nice day. There was other shite going on in the background that was a bit was a bit ropey in places, but no, for the day itself, I appreciate it. Like, it was so nice to be able to just hang out with everyone and to be able to stand in front of the people who I care about the most, and pledge myself, dedicate myself to the woman who I love the most.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The people you had there were the people you wanted to be.
Inky's just come walking in, going, "Hey!"
The people you had there were the people who you actually, there wasn't all this like, well, who's that guy? Well, that's my third cousin, 3 times removed, who knows so-and-so. I met him once when I was 2 years old, but I had to invite them. None of that nonsense. You just had the people there who actually mattered. I don't know why I was there, but I suppose you had a space. There's a spare chair, wasn't there? Fitting.
Well, see, that's the thing, though, because we, when we had originally planned the wedding, I mean, well, you know the groove. I mean, literally, I found out not long before the wedding was due to actually happen. Sorry. It wasn't until the registry office called me up that I actually realised, by the way, I'm getting married.
Was that your first inclination?
No, seriously. So, proposal was around about this, okay? So, it was New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, that kind of crossover time. We'd not long come out of hospital with Inky, and Inky's on the phone to one of her mates, and, as she often is until fucking 0:00 in the morning, and she says something to me. She says, are you free on such and such a date at such and such a time? And I'm like, yeah, I am. She's like, okay, make sure you keep it free. And I was like, all right, cool. Not entirely sure what was going on. Her and her friends start giggling. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. Time goes on, and
so that was the proposal.
Yeah, that was it. And then there's this like Inky kind of cracks a few jokes. I'm like, she's funny. Little bits and bobs start getting planned here and there. I'm not entirely sure what the hell's going on. And then all of a sudden, this phone call comes through. Yeah, we're going to the registry office. What? It's the registry office. Yeah, you come in and fill in your paperwork, bring your IDs and all that for your wedding in February. I was like, huh? All right. What? Okay. I was like, Inky, we're getting married. She's like, we're getting married. I was like, oh my God! And that was it. And I basically knew for a month before my wedding that I was getting married.
Do you know most other relationships that would be considered some sort of spousal abuse?
Well, there you go.
Be told, oh yeah, by the way, you're getting married in 2 weeks.
No one tells. It just goes well with my relationship. No one tells me anything. Like Inky just does what the fuck ever she wants, and I just like, oh, okay, whatever.
Oh, get married. I'm okay then.
Okay, we're getting married.
Oh, yeah.
She's fucking
brilliant.
beating me. Abuse. Why you keep hitting me?
That's brilliant.
She's hitting me with Christmas cheer.
Well, it's the Christmas special, so that makes perfect sense.
Christmas themed, and I'm special. So there you go.
That makes perfect sense.
But that was basically how my wedding came to be.
That's such a romantic tale, Skazz.
There you go.
That's gonna be a Hallmark movie at some point.
It was like literally just before lockdown hits, and that was it.
The scene, the sort of like romantic moves into the air, and until the person there, the two people. I mean, also they'll be played by actors, and being America, they'll be highly attractive actors, obviously.
Of course,
they always are. And the wife go, "You're free on February the 29th." Yeah, all right then. And that'll be so. I can just see it now. I can just see the setting this music now.
They'll cut to the panic attack.
And can I say, great play on Inky's part to do it on February the 29th, because that now is down you less anniversaries to pay for.
No, that's exactly it. Because we also got that little box sorted out, didn't we? That we open up on our first anniversary.
Yeah.
And it was, oh hey, it's not too long now until you open up your thing. It's like, nah, still got years to go as yet.
Yeah, you've got 3 years to go, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you look at that date, the anniversary, February 29th, null pointer exception. Well, there you go.
And that's the other trick as well, though, because, you know, February 29th is, you know, traditionally, well, they say traditionally, it's because it's supposed to be the guy that proposes to the lassie, and I've always said to Inky that I'd marry her. Always. You know, since dot one. But February 29th is when you know, the woman usually goes, hey, do you want to get married? So that's basically how that went. And then we got married, and it was a nice day because I've like I say, like you say, I've been to weddings too where there's like fucking thousands and thousands of pounds have been spent. You have no idea who the fuck half these people are. You couldn't give a flying fuck about half the people that are even there. The bride and groom never speak to these people anyway, but they're there for the show of it. And to me, that just seems wasteful and disrespectful.
It is. It's so. I don't like those showing off weddings because. Who actually benefits out of that? Do you show off? All the people who go, most of them are going to go. Most people who go to a wedding are going there to the. If you discount the close family, the other people going because A, they feel they should. Again, because that's so and so's cut. That's so and so's brothers, mothers, cousins. You know, dentist. We probably should go. Or, hey, wedding, free meal and some booze. That's really the sort of thought process I think that goes to people going to a wedding. Yeah. And it just seems so fake to me.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it just seems so fake. I mean, I've been to night. I mean, that's at the end of the day, it's what people want. I've been to plenty of nice weddings. You know, I've been a groomsman at weddings as well. That was a lovely wedding. The one I was a groomsman. That was a beautiful wedding. That was, and it was about right. I would say for what they did was about right.
Sure.
But I've been at ones where it's like, cool, this is a waste of money you've spent here.
Yeah. I've been to a few of those. Beautiful location, but I'm like, eh.
So you see, if ever I actually A, meet a girl, and B, get married, I've already arranged, I've got a whole gross for free.
Good job.
Yeah, that's free. And I can get a barn for free as well if I want it. So I'm sorted. So whole gross in a barn. What more do you need?
There you go. You've already got everything planned. You're a catch right there, Ram.
I've saved thousands of pounds.
The women are probably already tripping over you right now.
Yeah, I wish.
Mate, somehow I said this to one of our mutual colleagues. I said, you know what? I have no idea how the fuck I managed to get married and have children. Like, I've got no fucking idea. I go, I'm a complete and utter cunt.
Well, with regards to the children book, there are books you can buy that explain how it all happens.
Oh, really? I do often wonder. I do wonder.
I've got a book on farmyard biology you can borrow. It's not about humans, but it's
animal
similar.
Husbandry. I'm there.
Yeah, it gives you the basics anyway.
Okay, so I might learn them where these two little spawn things came from.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Okay, yeah, I'll lend it to you sometime.
I can learn that part at least, but I was like, you know, I don't understand how is it I've found a missus? I go, Ram's a fantastic bloke. When's he getting married? Let's all celebrate.
Not enough time. No, I spent way too much time not doing anything. That's the problem, Skazz. Anyway, shall we go?
Yeah.
we better go on our Christmas special, because I don't know how long we've been running for before we discuss his weddings.
20 minutes.
So,
good times. Let's go.
But yeah, good. But yeah, so, yeah, looking forward to the anniversary, dude.
There you go.
Yeah, in 3 years' time. So, games you've been playing.
Just what I quickly throw out there before we do that.
Yes.
Before we say no, you got to think. It's in 3 years' time. I'm more likely to get divorced before my first anniversary this way.
No, no, you've been together too long. That ain't gonna happen.
Actually, statistically they say that people who wait longer to get married divorce quicker.
Oh well, what are you doing then?
Yeah, guaranteed. And the fact that my first anniversary is gonna come in a year's time, fucking Inky's gone, man.
You're gonna open that box up and go.
I used to be happy once. There'll be a card in there that says you're a fucking cunt. It's like, I agree.
Oh yeah, you'll find my card when you get to it.
Yeah, there you go. I'll find it.
Yeah.
But
I do vaguely remember my card, but I'm very concerned because I had a couple of points by the time I wrote it, and I think there might be some typos in it.
Some typos? What you like? Our names are completely wrong and fucking.
Well, you'll know which one is mine. Trust me. When you find it, you'll know which one is mine.
Oh,
I can assure. A, because you can see my shaky handwriting, but B, you'll go, yeah, clearly Ram wrote that one.
So, I'm looking forward to it now.
As I was doing it, so Squibs there, and I thinking, that's a really good idea what you're doing. I said, it probably isn't, but it's the best I could come up with at short notice.
Good job, man.
So Saber should have warned me about this. I could have thought of something better, but he didn't. He just flung it on us. I mean, who does that at the reception? You just fling that on upon us. Like, what are you doing, mate? Come on, give me a chance here.
Bless him, it was fantastic.
It's a nice idea.
Speech.
Yeah. That's a really nice idea. So, but yeah. Anyway, games we've been playing.
None.
So, Skazz. Well, I've got on here Blast from the Past for you.
No, you're not, are you?
Yeah.
Go on, tell him.
Skazz is back with Blizzard. Skazz is back with Blizzard.
Yeah, we had a split up. We had a really bad tragic break 9 years ago. You know, it didn't end well. There was lots of shouting, spite and bile.
You power banned me.
I said I'd never come back. And they said they didn't care. So that's right, I didn't love them anyway. Their franchises suck dick. And
that's what you said about Diablo 3.
Yeah, fuck. So, all right, let's go through the story. I'm a vanilla WoW player. I'm not a traditional Warcraft player, which is their real-time strategy.
You said that was like you were some sort of like, you know, MMO Players Anonymous.
No, but yeah. So the trick is you have to establish when you talk about WoW, you have to say when you came in, because some people who played during the Wrath of the Lich King days don't know the pain of vanilla WoW, or people who came in during Cataclysm don't know quite the pain of leveling up in vanilla WoW.
I'm a hack server player.
Well, so was I. I mean, I ran my own server for a time as well before I paid for a subscription, but I didn't play traditional Blizzard games. I mean, the only other Blizzard game I really played was Lost Vikings, which was on like Super Nintendo. I didn't play Warcraft. My brother played Warcraft 3 for a bit.
I played quite a lot of Warcraft 3.
Nice looking game. Weren't really my thing. I was
I was
a CNC player, so
yeah. Never played the main campaign. Just only ever played the multiplayer.
Oh, fair enough. So I never played the multiplayer, but I've dabbled in it, not really played it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So because like you know, check this shit out. It's looking pretty fucking cool, and it's like, okay, fair enough. Then I played Final Fantasy 11. So I played other MMOs, Ragnarok Online, Realm Online, Final Fantasy 11 was a big one that I got into. That's why I started to learn how to tank. And then we jumped into vanilla WoW. You know, WoW was one of the big ones that everyone else was kind of looking to get into. We were all in college. People were talking about the possibility of coming into WoW. We all eventually got together and played on a private server, and it was kind of fun, so we got subscriptions. Some of us literally lost our college lives to WoW. I know a couple of folks from our classes that may as well have not bothered going to class at all because they spent more time playing WoW than they did doing coursework. But I played vanilla WoW. Then the Burning Crusades came out, and I didn't pay for it. I was like, I ain't paying for a fucking expansion pack to World of Warcraft. This is bullshit. You know, you've already got to pay a fucking subscription fee for it. Now I'm paying for expansions on top. I'm not doing it. The game ain't that good. Then time goes past, and Wrath of the Lich King comes out. And I'm hanging out with the WoW crowd again. And I get back into WoW. I get into WoW, Inky gets into WoW, and Inky said she'd never played WoW. You know, so me, my wife, I was talking to Zaber more at the time, although I'd never played WoW with Zaber. You know, a couple of our friends were also playing WoW. They were making YouTube content and streaming World of Warcraft, playing competitively in battlegrounds and arenas. And then towards the end of Wrath of the Lich King, before Cataclysm came out, I got permabanned. So I lost my vanilla WoW account and all the perks that I'd worked for over the years, and I was fucking pissed. Now, in fairness, I would say I'm half rightly banned, but I think it was kind of trivial. I don't think it should have been a permaban. I think it should have been a suspension. But I'll take the permaban. Fine.
What was it they banned you for?
So they said that I was botting. They didn't give me a specific thing. They said I remember the email. It said botting, gold farming, hacking, or something to that effect. And I'd got this email. I'd stopped playing for a day or so, or for the day, and I got this random email at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was just like, wait, what? I'm banned now? What's going on? And all I could think of was that they'd done me for a script that I was running, like for macros, so that I could macro my keybinds in. So instead of pressing like, I don't know, I can't actually remember the moves now, but let's pretend it's like
5-4-3 type thing.
Yeah. Like, so I can't remember what the moves are, but like I had a specific rotation, and I was making it so that I could do a chunk of my rotation in one button. Because if anyone has seen me play games on mouse and keyboard, especially shooters, a lot of people will comment, especially these days when I'm live streaming, and they'll go, why the fuck did you just strafe out of cover? And it's like, well, because I've got a problem with my hands. When my hands, like, I can't feel my hands at the best of time anyway, but sometimes I phantom press. Like, I don't mean to press the button, but all of a sudden my hands just go heavy and I press, and I'm strafing to the left, strafing to the right, you know, running forwards when I don't mean to. So the less APM, the lower APM I can have, the better. The longer I can play, kind of thing. And when you're playing WoW, you kind of need to go for quite some time to get anything done. So I'd scripted a few of my things, and Blizzard weren't happy with it. They now don't seem to really care, but back then they weren't happy with it, so they did me for it. And I gave them my reasons for doing it, and they said, no, we don't care, fuck you. And I was like, okay. They said, I messaged the GM, and they said, look, if you want to play again, all you have to do is buy the game again. Open up a new account, buy the game, we won't say a thing about it. You know, we're not going to ban you again just because you've bought the game, just because you've done this thing once, you can go back. So I did it. This is right at the end of Wrath, going into Cataclysm. Inky has leveled up. You know, a bunch of my friends were leveled up. We were running raids and all this, like, quite comfortably. I had to go from dick fuck all nothing back up to max level before the next expansion dropped. And so I nosed straight to the fucking ball, just hardcore mode, leveling up. And at the time, I was a dad too. You know, so I was like, you know, don't sleep, don't sleep, don't sleep. It was pretty stressful, and I was working too. And we got there. And then I got Diablo 3. So my beef right now is I have a slight beef with Blizzard, but it's not too bad. Diablo 3 comes out. And I get Diablo 3. I'm not a huge Diablo fan. But I get Diablo 3, and I make a character, and they tell me I can't have my name because my name is offensive. And it's like, okay, fair enough. So I use another pen name. And I make a character. I pick a class, give it a name, and I hit start. And then I log out. So I think I've literally, my character has just spawned in the tutorial zone. And then I leave it. And I go back to WoW and I play. And I think Mists of Pandaria had been announced, which was 2011, 2012. I wasn't interested in MoP, Mists of Pandaria. Stuff was going downhill with Cataclysm. A lot of my friends were leaving WoW because it was just getting easier and easier and easier to play. It wasn't as rewarding as when we used to play Vanilla and Wrath of the Lich King. And, you know, so it wasn't that great. I was still enjoying playing with Inky, but it wasn't all that great. Like, what the game didn't... you could basically burn through an expansion in no time flat, and, you know, it didn't quite have that draw. There are other games we could play together, kind of thing. Now, understand that I was quite a WoW fan. I mean, I've still got a replica of the Frostmourne sword. They actually made a replica with an ice shard to put it in. I had one of those. I have all the WoW soundtracks. I used to walk around with like WoW t-shirts and a WoW hat and all that kind of stuff. I was a WoW player. I streamed WoW. I recorded WoW. I was a WoW guy. I was also a Final Fantasy guy, but you know, people knew me for World of Warcraft. Then I got to log into Diablo 3 again one day. I'm already a bit shaken with WoW, as I say. Go into Diablo 3, your account has been banned. Right? Why? No idea. But we're banned you anyway. You've been banned. So I now can't play Diablo 3. So I email them. What the fuck is going on? My character has never touched the server. How the fuck could I have done anything to get permabanned when my character has only just hit, like, I'm in the tutorial zone? I've got this one character, like, I can't remember what the class was. It was like a barbarian. And it literally just started the tutorial zone. Hadn't even moved more than, like, a square. You know, like, one step in the tutorial zone before I logged back out. And I said this to them, and they were like, well, we're just done a check. Sorry, our mistake. Sorry. Your Diablo account has been unlocked again. So you've mistakenly permabanned me, and so now you'll let me back in. You've done this before with World of Warcraft. You know what? Fuck you guys. You're not having any more of my money. No more. And for the next 9 years, I have actively avoided any game that has run on Battle.net. So, with the exception of like Destiny 2 or Destiny on console, because I don't need a Battle.net account to log into that one. But everything that runs on Battle.net, I have avoided. Hearthstone, Diablo, World of Warcraft, and many expansions. Which is sad, really, because like I said, I used to play that regularly with my wife. You know, I've not touched any of the new Call of Duty games, like the Warzones and the remake of Modern Warfare and stuff like that, because it's on Battle.net. I won't touch it. Then, randomly, I'm having a chat with Zabermall the other day. He's randomly talking shit, and he's talking about how he's gone back into vanilla WoW. We both agreed that WoW had gone to shit after Cataclysm. And it was too easy, it wasn't rewarding anymore. They'd taken too much away from the earlier experience that made it rewarding, that you know, made combat feel, you know, like it was complex. Like there was a challenge, there was a skill curve there, and we were pretty good at it. And then they simplified it so that everyone could do it. You know, it'd be like taking a fighting game with 6 buttons and then saying, no, we're going to simplify it to like 2. Gold didn't mean anything anymore. Stat points didn't really mean anything anymore. We finished the game when a critical hit was about 20k. These days, 100,000 point crit is no problem at all. You know, it's disgusting. You throw gold coins away like they're copper in modern WoW, and it was horrible. And the closest I came back to WoW was playing on the private server Nastarius, because I wanted my classic WoW fix. You know, I missed vanilla WoW. I lost my vanilla character. I wanted to go back to vanilla WoW. And me, Inky, and a few friends got back onto Nastarius very briefly, and then Blizzard shut it down. Blizzard were like, nope, no one wants to play classic WoW, fuck you. And so they shut it down. I was talking to Zaber, and he says that he's playing Classic again, or he's gone into Classic. And he misheard me. I was talking to Inky. And he said, oh, do you want to play Classic WoW? I was like, not really. But, I mean, if I can get into my account, I'll give it a go. Went to get into my account, couldn't get in. I had an authenticator from 9 years prior. Obviously, I don't have access to the authenticator. The keys, I don't know what my password is anymore. I don't know any of my character names. The server that I'd been on had been merged with other servers, so it wasn't even on the same name, so I couldn't give them any identifying information about my account. My name has obviously changed because I've gotten married. I've moved house many a time since I made the account, so my current address isn't the same one that they have on file. It was a nightmare. Like I was like, I'm never going to get this account back. And Inky said, but why don't we just make new accounts? Even Zaber was like, let's just make new accounts. I was like, but they've had my money for the expansion packs. I'm not going to pay, or I'm not going to unlock a new account, or make a new account, and then go, let's play new World of Warcraft, like current World of Warcraft, and then have to buy all the expansions again. I was like, fuck that. You know, they've already got like £200 out of each of us for expansions. Fuck them. Anyway, I said to Zaber, I can't play. But that itch, that like little bug had bit me. And I wanted to get my account back. Because Inky seemed interested to play too. My wife was interested to play. And so over the next couple of days, I dick around and I start contacting GMs, which was silly because I contact the GM and they say, yeah, to reply to your ticket, log into your account. I can't do that because I'm locked out of my account. Raise another ticket, same problem. Raise another ticket, same problem. Eventually, though, I managed to find a way in, and they actually accept it, and they let me in. Download the World of Warcraft Classic client, log into the same server as Zaber, and as soon as that music hit, I was back in Azoroth. It all came flooding back. Stupid little things that Inky and I had done, you know, 9, 10, 11 years prior in Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm just came flooding back to me. The random stupid things that happened to us when we were doing dungeon runs. The random stupid things where we're all kind of like dancing at the Lion's Pride Inn on tables and our characters are getting drunk and you know, we're trying to do drunk Dead Mines runs and stockades or going to ICC and stuff. Just random stuff. Running battlegrounds when we're all just shouting at each other over Skype or TeamSpeak. You know.
Well, TeamSpeak, that takes me back.
Yeah, fun little things like that, you know. The fact that Inky and I used to sit in bed and I would have a netbook and she'd like have a laptop and we'd play WoW in bed. We'd level up in WoW just playing in bed. Kids would get up, need a change, need a bottle. Because we couldn't get back to sleep, we'd play a little bit of World of Warcraft. You know, all of that stuff just came flooding back. And I was like, wow, I kind of missed this.
I was like that, wow.
Yeah, literally, oh wow, I'm playing WoW again. Oh my God. And I went to Lion's Pride Inn. I was recalling all the times that, like, and you know my memory's broken as fuck. I was like, hey, do you remember that time when Chalky got killed by a high-level Horde player here? And no one did anything to help him, and it was hilarious because he got really angry. Do you remember that time when we did this and blah, blah, blah happened and all that? I was like, yeah. And, like, Inky started doing the same thing. And It was really fun. And so for the last couple of days, I've just literally, well, for the last day, because I've only had access to my account since the 4th. I've been fucking around in Azoroth, and it's fun. It's a weird one because it's a 4 gig download. Classic WoW which is literally vanilla World of Warcraft. No World of Warcraft Burning Crusades, no World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King, no Cataclysm, just vanilla base World of Warcraft from like 2004, 2005. It's free. If you've got a Battle.net account, that is free. However, you do have to pay a full subscription to base World of Warcraft, original current day World of Warcraft, to be able to play Classic WoW, which I think is like £10 a month. Wow. You can get it for as low as like £8 a month if you pay like 6 months in advance. And I've also been told that if you have enough in-game currency, you can actually buy game time in-game now with game money. So that's kind of neat. The game seems to be running on the new WoW engine. It doesn't seem to be classic WoW, because if you set go into the options menu and set it to classic mode, the settings go to level 3 out of 10. So hit the classic button, sets all your graphic settings to like 3, 2 times AA, low graphic settings, all that kind of, to give you that kind of authentic feel. But obviously everyone sets it to 10, 1080p, ultra, all the bells and whistles. And it looks, you know, WoW hasn't really changed much over the years, really. So it looks just how I remember it. Music is nice. And it's just fun to just dick about. And remembering like how painful leveling up in WoW actually was.
Yeah, it's bloody slow.
Yeah, hours and hours and hours sometimes per level. Whereas in modern WoW, you can get to like level 20 in no time flat. You know, an afternoon would easily get to like level 30 in current day WoW. Whereas back in the day, that'd get to like level 10, 8, you know. Looking forward to getting into it with friends. Don't know how long it'll last. I definitely won't be going back to regular World of Warcraft. But it's interesting to be back.
That's good.
It's interesting to be back. To see that they've rebuilt the game, because after Cataclysm they rebuilt the entire map and made it all 3D. And you'll say, but WoW was always 3D. But the towns and cities weren't. If you weren't supposed to climb up something, there was no mass to it. So you might see a wall in front of you, but there might not be anything on top of the wall. It might just be invisible. There's nothing there. Right. It's clear because you're not supposed to go there. In Cataclysm, because you could fly your mounts around, they introduced flying mounts. So you could choose where you flew to. They had to make it so that everything kind of netted over properly.
Yeah.
So that there were no kind of, oh, hang on a minute, I've flown over the top of Stormwind. Where the fuck are all the roofs to the houses? They put them all in. I think they've done that with. I think they're still running all that same engine in Classic WoW now. So system requirements are high. You ain't gonna be playing it embedded on a netbook now, but it's there. It's free. It plays just like Classic WoW used to, broken and slow. But, you know, the nostalgia is definitely there. It kicks you in the feels.
That's good to know.
So yeah, that's what I've been playing, kind of. I haven't played with a group yet. I haven't done any dungeons yet. Just funny to see how much of it is really stuck into memory.
That's good. That's good.
Now you haven't played WoW in a long time either, have you? Because at one point we did play WoW together on a private server.
Well, we were discussing this pre-podcast. And I was trying to remember the last time I played WoW. I came to the conclusion it must have been around about 2009, 2008.
Yeah.
Based on where I was working, and also what university course I was doing. Mm-hmm. So based on that, I think it was around about. I'm leaning more towards 2008. Was the last time I played WoW, and I actually got quite into WoW. I actually bought a year subscription to WoW. Because I played it for like, I think I bought like, I had like a month first to try it out. Wasn't my free month? Because you had a free month, didn't you, when you first bought it?
Up to level 20, yeah.
Was that back up to level 20 back then? I thought it was like you only had 1 month free and that was it. You had to buy a subscription at that point.
I remember they might have given you a month free, but I can remember they started giving out like a free week or 2 weeks.
At one point, they did unlock it, so they set up so you get up to level 20 for free.
Yeah. And
that was it. But it didn't matter how long it took you to get there. Once you hit level 20, you were there. I definitely played a 30-day free trial type jobby.
Yeah.
And then I bought a year subscription to it. I played it quite consistently for several hours a night. Well, I was definitely the casual side of players on that, because I've never been I would never consider myself a hardcore player of anything, because I just don't. I'm not one to split there for hours after hours after hours. 10, 12 hours there. I don't do that. I basically I had 2 characters, Tauren and a dwarf. And the only reason I had a dwarf was because they had a ram as a mount.
Yeah.
I
remember that. I remember you like going a bit wobbly in the fucking knees when you found out that.
Yeah, I played it, and only until I got to the point where I could unlock a ram as a mount, and that was as far as I basically went. And I played with some friends. I played with some. This was after me and you had drifted apart. We actually, what people probably won't know about us is that we were at college together. We went to college together. I then went off to university elsewhere to do an agricultural degree, and we sort of like split apart for several years.
Yeah.
About 5-6 years, we sort of just missed each other.
So that was probably around 2004, 2000. Yeah, probably about 2004 we drifted apart.
No, it was definitely that, because I was at, we did...
no, you are right. No, yeah, because we would have finished university at probably about 2006.
I graduated from my agricultural degree in 2009, and that was a 2-year course, which meant I started it in 2007.
Yeah, so we'd have finished our first thing about 2006. So that's when that's when we kind of drifted apart.
Yeah, that's when we sort of, because you moved to Norwich. Also,
I moved to Norwich in 2008.
Well, we just drifted apart at that point. We just drifted apart. Well, I'd gone off to university, hadn't I?
Yeah.
So I went off and lived at university for.
Well, yeah, because I moved in. I moved in with my at the time girlfriend. And then everything went shithouse. And then I travelled around the country for a couple of years. Then I moved to Norwich when I met Inky.
Yeah. So yeah, long story short, we split up. We went to our own ways for a few years. And I was there. Yeah, I was there, and I had some friends at where I went to university. There was people there who played WoW. Well, there was 2 people there who played WoW. So we met up and we did stuff together and so forth. And after, I feel actually out of my year switch, I probably used about 6 months of it, because at that point, I've never been one for, I've never been one for like hit a few buttons and just wait for it to cool down, hit a few buttons again, wait for it to cool down. I saw that sort of like got tedious on me after a while. So I ended up. It did have that sort of. I feel there comes to a point where it's like you weren't getting the sort of like the treadmill effect was easy. You get to the part of the treadmill where it's like it's just a long slog to get to the next stage. It's like, I just drifted off it. I just walked away from it. So yeah, I left WoW probably 2008, possibly 2009, but most likely 2008.
Yeah.
So.
That was actually probably when I started to come back into WoW, which was, I think, Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah, it was. It's just how we sort of split up, wasn't it? I wouldn't say I didn't get obsessed with WoW. I perhaps for like a few months I was, but it didn't stay stuck. It faded.
Unless you're making progress, then that treadmill kicks in hard. And unless you've got a group of people who can help you you're stuffed.
Yeah.
Because back in the early days, finding groups was tedious. Yeah. You could quite easily find a troll who would just come in and, like, say, not pull their weight. You know, they'd just greed roll on absolutely everything to take all the loot. You know, it was best played with a group of friends. And, like, right, today, the aim is to go from this part of the map to this part of the map. And the idea was to explore the world, figure out what was going on. But as soon as you got to that point where it's like, grind this, grind that, grind this, do that, got tedious. We got to the point where we were doing daily quests. We would just log in, half an hour, do our daily quests, log back out, or maybe do a battleground or two, log back out, and that was it. And it was at that point, I was like, why are we still paying for a World of Warcraft subscription at this point?
Yeah.
We've seen all of the content. We should probably bin it off now.
See, that's the issue. The other issue I had was, again, the people who I was with were fairly, I don't want to say hardcore, but they're definitely a lot more into it than I was. So it wasn't an enjoyable experience for them, I don't think, having to sort of like be with me, because I was so far behind them.
Yeah.
And they were trying to sort of help me along, but that's not an enjoyable experience, I don't think. And
I think it depends on the people, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, if you said to me, Ram, if you said to me and Inky and Zaber, you know, if you said, can I play? We wouldn't say no. No fucking chance would we say no.
No.
And you'd be like, I don't know how to play. You know, can you know, help me through? It's like, yeah, mate, fuck yeah, come on, let's go. We've played with people who would get really, really angry if a player didn't know how to carry their weight.
Yeah.
You know, do you not know your class? Get the fuck out of the group, and then you kick them out, and then you'd have to wait. You'd have to queue up and wait for, you know, new players to come in and fill that slot, and that could take time. Like back before you could look for group, like back when you were like sat there outside a dungeon waiting for other players to turn up, and you'd be in the chat going like, "Hey, can we find like a paladin or a priest to do healing or whatever?" Like, fucking take ages just to run a dungeon.
Yeah.
So you know. We'd also played with some fucking right arrogant bellends as well, who are like, oh, well, I know this dungeon and I'm really strong. And I'm like OP for this dungeon. Then they run in, aggro everything within 5 miles, and then we just wipe. I was like, why did you do that? Well, it's because you guys weren't healing or doing this. It's like, dude, you literally aggroed every room in the dungeon at once. Like, how the fuck are we supposed to outdo that? And they're supposed to be the experienced player, but I mean, realistically, dude, if you said to us like, "Hey, do you want to play, or can I play?" We'd say, "Yeah, man, that'd be fucking rad."
Yeah.
But look, as you say, I think it depends on the players. Sometimes hardcore players aren't all that fond of casuals, but I wouldn't imagine it. But I don't think they'd have had a bad time playing WoW with you at all. Personally,
well. I just drifted off. I mean, it was several reasons. I just sort of drifted off. I just drifted away from it. I think these other things came out, and I just got more hooked onto those, and that was it. So that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember getting hooked. I think actually part of the reason I drifted away from WoW was Fallout 3, because I got really obsessed with Fallout 3.
Oh, sure.
Because that came out when I went back to university.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember moving to my student digs, my student house, set up my PC, and just logging on to Fallout 3, and off I went.
yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so cool. Well, so it's nice to play it, but obviously I have to see long term. Actually, it'd be interesting to see long term. Actually, how you feel like in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, sure.
See how it comes out.
We're still waiting for Inky to get access to her account again. I feel that if Inky, because Inky was the one who was like, look, I'll make a new account. I'll make an account. You know, you don't have to worry about making a new account. Don't worry about a new email. We'll just use my email. We'll use one of my other email addresses, like my business email address, and you can use that as your account. And I was like, no, because Blizzard, we've already given Blizzard our money kind of thing. So I feel like when Inky gets her account back, I'll see how this goes. Because right now it's just me and Zaber. A few other people have shown interest in coming to play with us, but we'll see. We'll see. The grind is real in Classic WoW.
Yeah.
And you've really got to have fucking balls of steel to want to put up with some of that jank that's in that game.
Yeah, I wouldn't have the patience for it, so...
Well, never know. If you've got a group, I reckon if you were with me, Zaber, and Inky, we could probably level you up to dungeons, like to be dungeon ready in an afternoon. But like I say, the game is so much faster when you've got other people with you.
Yeah.
Because that's how the game is designed, to be played in a party. It's not designed to be played solo. So,
yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. Awesome.
It's weird to be back. 9 years. Damn. I was in an abusive relationship.
And you still are. Yep. And
God damn.
So, I'm playing Untitled Goose Game.
Right.
This was a game that came out it came out on Switch and Epic Store exclusive last year. And it's now migrated over to Steam. I picked up 3 weeks ago. So, and it's a really neat little game. It's all one of those games. It's all like no one's expected to be anything worth anything, but it's all like people got really popular for a short space of time.
Yeah.
It's basically a puzzle game. The tagline, the description of the tagline, and it's basically the description of the game is, it's a lovely day in the village, and you're a horrible goose. And it's pretty much griefing the game.
Right.
So you are a goose, and your basically interactions are you can move, you can honk, you can flap your wings, and you can sort of bend down. And it's lovely animated. It's so nicely animated because they've also the way the goose walks about and does it looks so nice and so lovely animated. And basically you move from area to area, and you'll come to an area and you'll be given a little task list. And you click tasks, you move on. So tasks lists will be things like, right, there's a groundskeeper here. We need to make him wear his sun hat. So he needs to change his hat. Oh, and you need to get him wet. And you need to steal his rake and throw it in the river. Oh, by the way, you also need to have a picnic and bagel his items up. That's sort of the first area.
Yeah, sure.
So you basically have to go around as a goose. So it's almost slightly stealth game, and you can sort of basically with these also NPCs, and you walk up to them, you can honk at them, and they'll jump and go chase you away and shoo you. They sort of shoo you away when you get too close to them. And you can grab things with your beak, and you sort of move around. And you're basically causing mischief. And you are a horrible goose. You're just there to cause mischief, and you really just basically wind these NPCs up. So you go up, they all steal stuff off them and run away with it. And it's so amusing when you grab them, you start running away. Your little feet pad, they come chasing after you. Your little feet pad along, and you can honk while you're doing it as well. And you can flap. The flapping the rings does nothing. It doesn't do anything at all. I think, but it just makes it look hilarious. You run away, you flap your wings like, ha ha.
It looks so much more dramatic.
It's basically a taunt button, but does nothing.
Fantastic.
You run away, and you honk at them, and you drop stuff off, and you complete a task, and gradually you work your way around the thing. It's a short little game. I mean, I think I played it about 3 hours. That for the main game, and then once you play it through, you actually unlock a whole new set of tasks, which are a bit more complicated. And so it's got some more sort of puzzle made in it. Basically, it's sort of stealth / puzzler. I said it's just really nice puzzle. It's very sort of English countryside village. You know, I don't know if the developers. I'm not sure if the developers are English or not, but it's definitely set. It's a very English countryside village. It's so much like something you see at a Hot Fuzz type sort of village. Is the way I would describe it. It's that sort of style village. And you go. Lost in time, yeah. You go around and there's a little village shop, and there's a whole segment where you have to just traumatize a small child and make him hide in a telephone box. I mean, that's just you do it by just chasing after him and honking at him. It's just so fun. it's such a really basic concept, but it's just fun. And it's definitely quite like where you just like walk up behind somebody, they're about to do an action, they're about to like hammer something, just about to hammer it, as they're about to strike down, you honk at them, they just distract them, they hit their finger. It's so fun.
So what you're saying is, from what I'm getting from your playthroughs of Life is Strange and this game, secretly, you're a dick.
Yeah.
You like to bully the bully, and you like to troll people.
I don't bully people in real life, so I have to do it in computer games instead. That's how I released it. It's why people play GTA. You know, they're not drug dealers in real life, so they play GTA and pretend they are. But yeah, it is honestly, it's such a fun game. The art style was really neat. It's a really basic art style. I can't remember what it's called. I've seen it before in other things, but it's like really simplistic. It's probably got a palette of like 30-odd colours, and everything is really simple. There's no more detail on anything. It's all this really basic sort of geometric shapes forming everything up, but yet somehow it is detailed.
Right.
It's really hard to see. When you see it, you don't understand what I mean. But if you saw it, you don't understand what I meant.
I'm now looking it up.
Yeah, you'll see what I mean.
I think I've seen this. Oh, it's by Santa Monica Studios.
House Studios, is it not?
Wasn't it? Oh,
it's on the Switch. I know that much.
Let's have a look. Let's rewind the. Yes, Santa Monica Studios, originally released on PlayStation. And then it's got some company by blah, 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 from the creators of What Remains of Edith Finch.
Are you sure you're looking at the same game as I am? Because the game I'm looking at...
Oh, no, maybe not.
I was saying that sounds completely different, because the one I'm looking at is developed by House, published by Panic.
Oh, there you go.
I'll link.
Oh no, sorry, I've looked at the wrong game. I'm looking at something else that I've just. I was thinking of something else. It's a very artsy fartsy game.
No, this is not artsy fartsy. I want to link you to it.
Wow, I can't type. There you go. Found it. No, I found it.
Oh,
because for some reason my head went to another game that Inky and I had played. So.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh yeah, I have seen this one. I've seen this one.
Yeah, really neat game. It's.
You're right. I can't put my finger on what kind of art style that is.
Yeah,
little bastards just nicked that guy's sandwich and dropped it in the pond.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, it's a real fun, simple game. I love that the NPCs they sort of shoo you away, and some like use a broom sort of chase you away, and you are basically playing a dick. You are, but it's okay because you're a goose. It doesn't matter.
There you go.
Yeah, and it's just something quite like just winding people up. It's just fun. It's
therapeutic for you.
I was playing it. I was laughing at bits. It's just the absurdity of it all. I was trying myself just laughing. It's like, oh yeah, I've been that guy's radio. He's chasing after me. This is just hilarious. And it's got little details. Like at one point, I picked up a milk bottle, and he puts it over his beak, and when you honk, it echoes from the inside the milk bottle.
Right.
Just little deals like that. But in September this year, they've released a 2-player mode, co-op mode. God.
Fantastic.
Just throw it out there.
Rand Nerds Game Night. Dick Swan game.
Dick Swan game. That sounds so wrong.
Honk honk on the dick.
Honk honk. That is. It's brilliant. Oh yeah, it's just so funny when you just chase after when people are chasing you, you just start just honking for no. It doesn't do anything. It just makes it. I mean, it's like the wing flap. It doesn't really do anything. And it's just like honking. It's like, I've got your thing. Honk, honk. Bye. I'm gonna flap my wings now. Bye.
You are far too entertained by.
I was really entertained by it. It was a game I wanted to pick up for a while. And I picked it up and I played for it this evening, and I was really entertained by it. It's simple. I mean, it's a short game. It's simple, but boy, is it fun.
There you go. That's what you need.
That's what you need. That's what you want from your game. So yeah, I heartily recommend Untitled Goose Game.
Sure.
Cool. Right, it's that time of the year, Skazz.
Ugh.
Yes.
It's
Game
not
of the
tax
year. Game of the year 2020.
Well, that's great because games this year suck dick like the rest of 2020.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you haven't had a good year for games.
No.
Maybe because your PC is broken for most of it.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Gaming for me, 2019, 2020 has been really shit. Like, I'm actually having to actively force myself to play games.
I mean,
there's not a lot of new shit coming out that I'm like, I want to play this.
You're getting old, Skazz, is the trouble.
Well, that is it. That is it. Like, I've played many a game over the years. And we kind of know it's like just negative reinforcement and having children has just been like, I don't want to play games anymore. So the game that I play has to be something really fucking good. And I'm really critical of pretty much everything in games now.
I'm sure there'll be another Hyperdimension Neptunia game coming out at some point. You'll be fine.
Is!
There you go. You see, all right then. I'll ask you what are you complaining about.
Yeah, but that's not out yet, and that's probably coming out on PlayStation 5, which, you know...
So, we'll talk...
That's worth 500 quid, though.
Yeah. We'll talk us through... So for those who've joined us, I basically compile a list of all the games that we've talked about over the course of the last year, and I send it to Skazz, and people just pop through it. So, do you want to just have a little go through your list, like pick some bits and pieces out before you go on to your final list?
I've cleared out a lot of the games because my list had a lot of stuff on it that I'd played before. So I'm going to just quickly go through the list, and you'll kind of click a pattern pretty fast. So Dragon Quest, the new one that's just been released on PC in the Epic Store, not great. Final Fantasy 15 Pocket, not great. Final Fantasy 15, the actual game, that was pretty good, but I played that last year, so no. Dauntless, cheap man's Monster Hunter, played it a couple times, no. Cuphead, overrated, not hard. AI Dungeon, goofy, that's a fan fiction simulator, fucking gotta be high as a kite to play that, no. Animal Crossing sucks. We Were Here was pretty fun. Hunt Showdown, yeah. PUBG, can't play that with mouse and keyboard on Stadia anymore. Doom Eternal licks balls. Kirby Star Allies, another one that licks balls. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered, netcode sucks. Fall Guys, too many cheaters. Super Hot VR, pretty fun for a VR game, but it's super hot. I've already played that before. Atex Cybernetic, another VR game, first-person shooter, broken as fuck. Payday 2, fun, but mowing down hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of guys gets tedious after a while. Deep Rock Galactic, that's a pretty good one. Bulletstorm sucks. Killing Floor Incursion was okay up until the game-breaking glitch that we had on our Halloween night. Genshin Impact, fun for a free game. Phasmophobia, fun in a group. Too buggy. Looking forward to where that goes, though. Life is Strange sucks, and We Were Here too. Pretty solid, but yeah. Out of my entire list, I've only actually marked off 2 that are even worth mention.
And they are?
Hunt Showdown and Genshin Impact.
Cool. So it's interesting because I know Genshin Impact is sort of online, but it's not as online as you thought, and Hunt Showdown is also an online game.
Yeah.
Realistically, it's an online game.
Yeah.
So what was your reason for picking those?
Right, so other than the fact that everything else fucking sucked, I mean, I like Deep Rock Galactic, but I'm only going to play it with you and Zaber.
Yeah.
I wouldn't walk around wearing a Deep Rock Galactic t-shirt. You know what I mean? Hunt Showdown was fucking fun. Originally, I was I was on the fence about it until we had our game night of it. And it was hilarious. You know, I started to get attached to my characters. I used to enjoy watching Hunt Showdown streamers. I still think that the perks and trait system section is kind of broken. But But you know, whatever. It's a fun game. I like the environment. I like the lore. I like the music. It's a pretty solid game. You just need to have a beastie machine to be able to play it and stream it. It's not the kind of game that casuals get into. I've tried to get a few of my friends into it. As soon as they found out that they had to play online against other people, they got turned off by it straight away.
Yeah. It really could do with a PvE mode. It really could.
So for anyone that doesn't actually know, Hunt Showdown is a competitive PvP shooter, or it's a PvE game with competitive PvP elements in it. It's kind of like
kill a monster, take it to a place and get out and you get a thing, but the other players there who are trying to do the same thing as two monsters between like 12 players.
Yeah.
So that's where your competition comes in.
Yeah. It looks fantastic. You know, it looks beautiful. There are a lot of cheaters in it though. It's very lighting heavy.
Yeah.
You know, and there are a lot of people with NVIDIA graphics cards cheating and turning up the brightness on nighttime maps, which basically
they fixed that now, haven't they? If they patched
they have now. They have now, but I mean, for a time, it was like people with NVIDIA graphics cards were making exposure adjustments as if they were adjusting photos in Photoshop. And they were making nighttime maps daytime, and there was no way that people without high-end NVIDIA graphics cards could compete. To be fair, if you're on a nighttime map, it was no good. You were just instantly going to get screwed over by other players. But no, it's a very fun game, very solid IP. I'd be interested to see if they implement ray tracing on it, but I think the lighting in that game is beautiful already.
Yes.
It's a very, 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 very nice game, even if the character models look like they're made out of plasticine.
Very atmospheric game.
Yes, it's very, very, very nice.
And very much in that category of very unfair game.
Oh, God, yes.
But, yeah. You can fuck up so easily in it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, you could be on a roll, and then out of nowhere, just a player will come out of nowhere and just fuck you and your entire team up.
Yeah, and you'll never know where they came from.
Exactly. You know, it only takes one clean shot and you're stuffed.
It's also a great story generator.
Yes.
So when we were playing things like where we, you know, like that time where you and Zabe, we like literally at the start of the match got hit by those other players.
Yeah.
You and Zabe went down. I just went and hid for like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
While the players were searching for me, when they finally got bored and left, I had to sort of sneak out, find you two, revive you two. We just legged it out of the match.
Yep.
Yeah, those sort of where a similar thing happened where you guys got ambushed and I was a little bit further away, and again I had to wait for the guys to move away from you. I could see him and watch them move away, and I could come revive you. And Zay was being burnt up, and I had to sort of put him out quickly and revive you before you was gone. It creates this lovely little story moments, and when you do actually extract, when you do actually successfully extract, whoa, what a feeling!
Yeah, sense of accomplishment.
What a feeling!
Right there.
It is, yeah, because that is hard. That is a hard thing to do.
It has almost a WoW factor to it, like as in World of Warcraft factor to it, in that you could, as you say, you can tell stories about shit you've done in that game. You know, you feel good when you successfully pull something off in that game. You know, whether it be an extraction, an actual kill on another player, you know, finding the bounty. It's fan-fucking-tastic. I mean, I liked it enough after not long of playing it that I'd bought a lot of the DLC, that I'd bought it on Xbox as well.
Oh, blimey.
Because I've played with a couple of friends on Xbox. And I bought a shirt.
Likewise, you can't see it, but I'm actually wearing my Hunt Showdown shirt at this moment.
Oh, there you go. And that's the thing. Like, I don't often do that. I have to really like a game to do that. I bought the soundtrack.
Yeah,
I bought the soundtrack to the game. You know, it was one that I really, really enjoyed. Once I got into it. Just the trouble is I couldn't convince my friends to stay in it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's downside. It's one of those games where you really have got to dedicate yourself to it to be good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a game you can just pick up and play and have a little bit of a blast and you're going to kill a few people and it's fun and you're done. You really have to sort of dedicate yourself to it.
You have to learn the maps. There are strategies to each location. Different loadouts are going to help on different sections of the map. There's a lot to it. That's
why I really think it needs a PvE mode, because when we effectively had that where we played one batch where we realized all the other players either were dead or they extracted early.
Yeah,
and it was just us, and that was fantastic. That was
it was really fun. All it was taking out a really easy boss, but it was really, really, really fun.
Yeah. So I think there's option there to put a PvE mode, up the enemies' difficulty, perhaps put more of them in there. But take the player. I think that is definitely something they could do that would make it a lot. That'd be hilarious fun.
Yeah, I will say I don't think they should bring over your points to PvP hunt.
No. Perhaps either track them separately.
Yeah.
Like you have a PvE. Perhaps you have a PvE character and a PvP player. You can't swap them between.
Yeah.
So, but no, it was great fun.
Really,
what about you?
I really enjoyed it.
Cool. And what about your other one?
So Genshin Impact, I think, is a really solid game just because it's free. It looks absolutely beautiful. And for an action RPG, it's pretty solid. I just wish, because I just got this feeling that it had more multiplayer elements in it. It's always online, so I had assumed it would have more multiplayer components to it, and it doesn't. If you've ever played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, imagine that, but it looks better and free.
Mm.
And it's got cross-play on it, so you can play on your phone, you can play on your PlayStation 4, you can play on your Xbox when it comes out on Xbox, you can play on PC, and your character moves, or your progress moves between the lot. It's fantastic. Microtransactions aren't intrusive. It's free. It looks great, and it's free.
What more could you
if it was Nintendo,
want?
they'd charge you £70 for that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my thing. But again, because the multiplayer part seemed kind of nerfed to me, I was like, well, I'm not really all interested. I don't really want to go any further. I was actually looking forward to getting a couple of people together and running some of the story together. But when that turned out not to be a thing, I was like, maybe I'll just stick around this every now and then. It won't become a full-bore game kind of thing. But it's beautiful for what it is. But that's it.
Cool. Well, I think it's a fair pick.
What about yourself?
So I won't go through all because I've actually had. I think I've actually quite an enjoyable year for games. I've played quite. I've tried to sort of be a bit more. I've been a bit more picky what games I play. I've tried to sort of pick a bit more of a variety of games this year, and I've picked up some good ones. I've enjoyed. I won't go through my whole list because it's quite a long list, but I'll pick up some worthy mentions.
Mm-hmm.
So Kona, which was that walking simulator set like in Canada. It's in the sort of cult park Canada, which most of Canada is. And you're sort of like you're this village, and you're sort of like going from house to house. You're gradually piecing together a story of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
There, you're a detective who's been called in, and you're trying to solve a murder. And what I liked about it was the fact that they'd really gone to town the environmental storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Every house you went in felt lived in. Every house told a story. Everything made sense. It felt like an actual place rather than just a game level. Really neat, really style. I like that one. BattleTech, I liked it because it felt very old school. For a newish release game, it felt really old school. It really felt like I was playing a game from like early 2000s, late 90s. The style of the sort of way that you had the other characters, the sort of cutscenes in between, the way you went around your ship and you went to like a pre-rendered background, and it felt really class. I like that one. Green Hell, really good survival game. Probably one of the best survival games I've played. Because they've put it's so much sort of like little details they've put into it. You know, I love building a base up, and again, it's very much on the hard side of the survival games.
Yeah.
So that it did a very good job. Control of survival games, all survival games, is once you've got yourself established, the threat's gone. The sort of like survival games tend to be sort of for the first few hours, perhaps 2 or 3 hours, they tend to be fun because you're really up against the elements. But then after 2 hours, you know, you've got to a stage where you've got so much in reserve, you're safe.
You don't feel like you need to move any further forward.
No, because you feel like I'm settled now. I had that with Ark Survival Evolved. So quickly did I feel that I basically caught up with Ark Survival Evolved that I don't feel I need to do anything anymore.
Yeah.
Green Hell has got a little bit. I think this case of all survival games have that a little bit. But even when I had like my base fully, like a nice little base built, there were still times where I was dying of like fungus, like intestinal worms, and I was going to sort of like die of those. And you can still like, and it's unfair. It's got the unfair. I mean, like you'll wander around, you will actually get bit by a Brazilian wandering spider, and that's it. You've had it. Unless you've got an antiviral, an anti-poison antidote on you, you're dead.
Yeah,
you're not going to. They'll take you from full health to nothing, and that's it. You're dead. Neat game. Observer, which was the sort of cyberpunk game I played.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it for the atmosphere. They built again sort of walking sim / survival horror, sort of in between the two, but beautiful atmosphere. Loved the storyline, loved the plot line. It felt really good. Felt like it was a nice little separate world. Really enjoyed it. Pretty much the issue with the field of view, which I fixed. And Warhammer 40,000 Mechanicus. 2 reasons. A, it's Warhammer 40,000, so that gets a tick automatically because I love Warhammer 40,000. And B, is a really neat tactical shooter. It's very much on what I call the chess style tactical shooter. That the actual controls and the sort of mechanics are very simple, but they lead to complex interactions, like chess does.
Sure.
So I like that because it's very simple but complicated at the same time. Really enjoyed that. I like the atmosphere. And they really captured, right down to the music, really captured I've got the soundtrack now for it. Really captured the atmosphere. They did a fantastic job capturing the atmosphere. But they're my sort of like worthy mentions. My finalists, who got my sort of like I ended up picking a pair of games, so I couldn't pick one or the other. A bit like you, Skazz.
Mm-hmm.
Hunt Showdown. For all the reasons we've already previously discussed, and Half-Life Alyx.
Okay.
I just think it's, of all the VR games I've played, it's probably one of my favourite ones, and it's Half-Life, and I've wanted a Half-Life game for so long, and it really pulled me back into the world nicely, and it felt like a nice continuation as well. I love the way the world interacts. I love the fact the little details of like as you move around, the fact that if you get close to war, you'll just put your hands on the wall automatically. It made a lot of good use of the actual VR mechanics as well, which was neat. Like there's a bit where you had to they're like these like things that would bite you, but like there was like a control point just beyond that, so you had to sort of like reach with your hand, and it would actually track your hand as you went in, so you could avoid them. It made a lot of neat use of that, so really good. So Hunt Showdown for the online sort of stuff. We've already discussed it. Half-Life of the single player game. After that, but I actually say this year I feel I've had a good year. I mean, a lot of the other games have obviously crossed over, but I'm not going to go through the whole list. I just want to pick out a few highlights there. But I thought you've had a bad year. Unfortunately, I've had quite a good year.
Fair that.
But yeah, good year, good games.
I disagree, but fair. I'll give you Hunt, and I figured you'd go Half-Life.
It was. It wasn't a definitive today. I literally was picking up. As I said, the sort of worthy mentions were all contenders. I just think it just had that little bit of polish to it that just sort of finished it off and got it over the edge line.
Sure. I mean, I could have struck Genshin off, and it would have instantly just been Hunt Showdown. To be fair, and if I didn't have my PC, Hunt Showdown wouldn't have even had a look in.
Yeah, I think what we've established is our game of the year is Hunt Showdown
for sure.
For sure. which is neat because it's that, and that Hunt Showdown isn't my sort of game either. That really isn't my sort of game.
Me. It ain't for me either, to be honest. Like I say, as soon as you know, we were talking about permadeath, a permadeath kind of halfway battle royale PvE shooter. I was like, oh, that's not going to be great. But the atmosphere in it's fantastic, and as you say, it's almost a story generator. The little moments that happen in that game, just the rush you get as you get to an extraction, it's fucking fantastic.
When that counter counts down, and it builds up, and it gets a little,
you feel it.
Yeah,
you feel the clunk.
Just the music, because they do the sort of boom, 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 and they build it up so well. Yep. It's just so there's a lot of little bits in it they've just done well.
There are a lot of little like kind of ticks and clicks and all that kind of stuff that you just, if you haven't played it for a little while, you wouldn't even realize they were there. First time jumping in, you're like, huh, that's a bit. And then you play it long and you're like, oh shit, hang on, there's a tell right there. I can see that there's another player who's been through here because this has happened.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, there's the sound design. Hey, there's something going on, like right over there. And so many little things, little nuances you wouldn't pick up on first time playing that eventually you're like, oh, that's actually really good. That's really clever.
But sound design is really good in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember that bit where we were hauled up in a building. There's all three of us. And it's worth mentioning, we're not very good at the game.
No.
It's worth it. And we're hauled up the building, and we could just hear like the noise of birds and stuff moving outside, and that's only done by other players.
Yep.
So we knew they were coming. We could hear them moving about, and that is somehow far worse than actually seeing them.
Yeah.
Because you know they're there. And just that, I think it was our second match or third match where we basically got the monster, you'd gone down, I grabbed the thing, and I nearly extracted, I nearly made
the other player got there to the extraction point.
Yeah.
We took it out, and the character had lobbed dynamite up as I was then picking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that match, like hardcore, I remember that.
Yeah. There's like 3 seconds to go, I was so close to getting out. Yeah. Oh. That was, that's definitely the worthy winner of. I know we picked our own little ones, but yeah, Hunt Showdown is definitely the worthy winner of overall game of the year. Definitely the worthy winner.
Yep. Could do with a PvE mode.
Oh yes.
And please God, give me instrumental versions of the entire soundtrack.
Yes.
I'm not asking for much. Just give me the instrumental versions. They're on YouTube. Yeah. Put them on an album. Put them on Spotify. Put them on wherever. Just do it.
Yeah. But I'm saying to you, I mean, there aren't many games I've got shirts for, and Hunt Showdown's one of them. And not many games. I tend to buy more soundtracks than most of my soundtracks in games, but Hunt Showdown's one of them. And yeah, beautiful music, beautiful sound design.
I was having
beautiful atmosphere.
When we were playing Hunt Showdown, I was having a really rough time. Like life was pretty shitty, and I actually looked forward to jumping into the bayou and taking a bullet to the head for some random reason, you know.
Yeah.
That was a solid game. Well,
I think because it's unfair. The game's unfair, but it's not bullshit unfair.
No, for sure, I agree.
It's not like the other player. Oh, the other player, you know, he had a slightly better lag than you and he won. Mm-hmm. It's no, you made a mistake there. You didn't think about this, and now you're dead.
Yeah, or they have better map knowledge than you. Yeah. You just so happen to. You ran, you sprinted in an open area, and they saw you from a fucking mile off and happened to have a decent gun, and because I mean, you have to line, you know, you can't just like center screen click in Hunt Showdown. There has to be a lead in.
Yeah.
So someone has had more practice than you. You did something stupid. You got fucked up.
Yeah.
That was great.
Fun. Yeah, it is so. Well, if there was a cup, Crytek, you'd get the cup for Hunt Showdown.
For sure.
Yeah. But I think it's a game, basically it's as a game, it's a game, it's the same people who I recommend it to.
Yeah.
I bought you a copy of Hunt, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah. So I wanted something to play with.
So I was going to say, I don't think I'd have played it if I had to have paid for it. To be honest, that I would have been like, nah. I'd seen stuff about it. I didn't realize until later on that I'd actually seen stuff about it years prior. But as time went on, it was just one of those things. I was like, nah, I'm not playing that. I'm not playing that. It's just going to be something I'm going to have to invest time in. And nah, I'm not playing that. And then when I actually played it, I was like, that's actually really fucking solid. But then, as you say, trying to get other people into it is really, really hard. Really fucking hard.
You always used to say, well, yeah, it has got permadeath. And there's but wait, just wait a second. Trust me. It is fun. Well, just don't get attached to your characters.
As soon as I said to people, online PvP, most people are like, nope, don't want to play it.
Yeah.
Just don't want to play it. I was like, but the environment's really good.
See, I'm like that I don't like playing against other players. I rather play PvE. It was only because one of the podcasts I listened to, they were talking about it, and I was listening to the stories of what they were having. I thought, actually, this sounds really good.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go in alone.
Yeah, not recommended. I've done that, and my KD's atrocious because of it.
Yeah. So, hence why I bought you a copy. It's like, come in with me, Skazz. Come play with me.
And then I got wrecked.
Yeah. So, but good. Yeah, worthy winner. So, I'm happy. I'm pleased with that.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Right, Skazz, I think we need to wrap up our Christmas special.
Damn right.
so if anyone's watching, over the TheSuffolkRam.
Skazzius.
So yeah, you can join us on. You can see us more details about us on rannerds.co.uk. You can join us for our game night, which is every Tuesday at roughly 8, probably it's all like 8:30 p.m. You can watch that on twitch.tv/TheSuffolkRam
and twitch.tv/Skazzius SK4ZZI0US.
Yep. Watch out for the upload of our Christmas special games night, which is We Were Here Too. That'll be out in a few days' time. But yeah, other than that, thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll see you all in the new year on January the 2nd, 2021.
Marvellous. Take it easy, guys.
See you guys.